Hi, I'm Sam. Tomorrow, September 11th, the 9-year anniversary of perhaps one of the greatest disasters that has happened in our country's history and even in the world's history for that matter. That was the collapsing of the World Trade Towers in New York. And because of the events that happened on that day, we are directly in the situation we are in today. We're in a war in the Middle East and more countries than we've ever been at war with before. The world's economy seems to be in shambles. Our own economy is in shambles. Half of the world hates our guts. And I'm here to tell you that the official story that we all hear about how 9/11 happened is complete hogwash. Yes, I mean complete hogwash. I was one of the people that really believed it hook, line, and sinker when it happened. I followed the news for days after it's happening. And I'm here to tell you today that story is complete nonsense. Well, maybe there's a little bit of truth. Yes, there was explosions, there were fires, and they fell. That is the truth, yes. But the rest of it, nonsense. Nonsense. It wasn't that long ago that I really started to figure it out. A couple of years ago, I'm on the internet, and I stumbled across something about 9/11, and I started to watch it. And in this little documentary, I saw things that I had never seen before in the official story, so to speak. Never seen that. Now, I'm intelligent. I have good reasoning power. If you show me this or that, I can really usually figure out which makes more sense. And unless you see the alternative information out there, you're never going to figure it out. Yeah, I was one of the guys that watched the Discovery Channel, and they talked about how the insulation off of the girders blew off from the explosion, and they melted and they collapsed. Nonsense, hogwash. So I'm watching this on the internet. One of the first things I noticed, they showed how the top of one of the trade centers fell to the bottom at just about free fall speed. They had a timeline, and they demonstrated it. Free fall speed, that means like as if it was unobstructed. How could that be? There was a lot of floors in between. It would have at least slowed it down, or it might have caused it to sway, but no, it went straight down. Hey, and how about this one? The passport that they found in the rubble of one of the terrorists. Well, think about it. They didn't find any papers intact. How could a passport come out of a guy's pocket who was in an explosion, who was on fire? How could it come out and they find it on top and it's readable? Oh my God, what a bunch of nonsense. Yet we all bought into it. And here's perhaps the real smoking gun. I remember that same afternoon it happened. I'm watching the news all day, and I see this Mr. Silverstein talking about Building 7. He was the owner or the leasing agent of Building 7. He's talking about Building 7 was so damaged that we decided to pull it. And he said it with a real straight, solemn face. And you know, within an hour or two, boom, the building came straight down. It was pulled. Pulled is a term for demolition. Well, think about it. To demo a building of that size, it takes days, if not weeks, to set up the charges. How did they just go in there so quickly and set them up like that? They didn't. They were there ahead of time. Just like the charges were there ahead of time on the trade towers. Yes, they were. Pay attention. Let's talk about the Pentagon for a minute. Has anyone out there ever seen any film footage, any still pictures of any aircraft sticking out of the Pentagon? Now mind you, one of the most highly secured areas in the entire world. Video cameras all over. Yet we've never seen it. Why we've never seen it? Because it didn't happen that way. A plane did not fly into the Pentagon. Yes, I used to believe the official story. Shame on me. Yes, some rookie pilot flew this huge aircraft close to the ground, not knocking down any telephone poles or any light poles, and he smashed into the Pentagon. Nonsense. Hogwash. The events were orchestrated in order to further an agenda. And I am convinced that the events were known about by some of the highest levels in our power structure in our country today. 3,500 or so people were expendable in the eyes of these elitist New World Order people, for lack of a better term. And they did. They expended them. And since that has happened, look what's happened to our country. Our freedoms are being taken away. Fear-mongering is everywhere. We're a lot worse off because of it. The truth will set you free. Realize this, the major media out there is controlled by a handful of elite people. You're never going to see the truth completely, the complete truth on the major media, because it's against their agenda. They do not want you to see it. Too many highly paid corporate pundits just repeating more nonsense. look to alternative information, find the truth. The truth will set you free. You can become empowered. If you don't become empowered today, you're going to be even more overpowered with the events that are happening today. Become empowered. Empowerment can lead to freedom, and freedom can ultimately lead to peace. So, in closing, I'd just like to say, God bless the souls of the people that died. God bless the souls and the people that survived those events of 9/11. And God bless the world. And God bless our country. Thank you for your time. I'm out for now. See you on the other side. Sam.